Straight Talk 1400, 733. It is 30 degrees here at KJFF. Mostly cloudy this morning, then partly cloudy. A chance of flurries, in fact. High in the mid-30s. Temperatures will drop off in the 20s this afternoon. I'm Matt West. Craig Andrews is here as well.
Matt West is here as well.
We're both here, and I'd like to welcome to the program Craig Henning, and he is with he's the executive director of Disability Resources Association. How are you, Craig?
Just fine. How are you?
I'm good.
No, this Craig, that Craig. Also alongside, working in research is Aaron Benz, also with Disabilities Resources Association. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. It's good to have you in. It's your first time in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, are you nervous?
A little bit.
All right, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. Craig, we had contacted you some time ago because you had made a statement concerning this proposed iron ore smelter in Crystal City. Before we get in that, tell us a little bit about disabilities, what you do in your organization.
Our organization is a disability services civil rights organization. We are under 4 federal and state mandates. One of those is to do public policy advocacy and systems advocacy. So typically we're involved at the state, local, federal level. And as you know, Matt, we've been involved in transportation issues in the county for seems like forever. And that's one of the things that we do. So that's how we became involved in this.
And when you say transportation issues, someone who has disabilities getting around Jefferson County, not an easy thing to do.
No, absolutely not. And we've been working really hard, and we finally, I believe, have the county commissioners on board. So I hope Mr. Banks is listening so that we can actually get this problem resolved.
And you're talking about basic stuff, grocery, doctor, basic stuff.
Correct. And what we've done is we run a small transportation program that's privately funded. One of the only ones, if not the only one in the country that's privately funded. And it takes care of the people that it's not cost effective for any of the other providers or there's no funding for. So that's worked out well, but we have 2 vans and approximately 40,000 people with disabilities. And when you do the math, it's not good.
No, certainly not. So, again, how does this fold into or how does this connect to a proposal that has been approved by the Crystal City Council?
Well, our concern, and our board has looked into this, and actually that was their statement that they voted on that was released to the press. Our concern is that there are no environmental studies, there's no feasibility study. We are located in Crystal City, and we have a lot of people who visit our office who have pulmonary disorders such as COPD, emphysema. Those types of things tend to run high in this area, and we are concerned about the pollution aspect of that. As a matter of fact, I have an employee that has COPD, and in order for her to continue to work, we have to have an industrial air purifier in her work area. So if this operation would begin, I think all bets are off the table because no one really knows at this point what the environmental impact would be. And until and unless they have that type of a study, my board of directors is not going to be willing to publicly support this.
And that's a very logical statement as far as you're concerned. Aaron, you actually live in Crystal City.
Yes.
And what have your thoughts been? And I know you've probably done some homework yourself about this project.
Well, it's real disheartening. You know, you kind of put your trust into your government begrudgingly sometimes, and you know, we were just very surprised that the only reason that it came out, it seemed, to the public was by accident. So, you know, we thought that there was a lot more
That could have been shared.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of questions we don't know. That obviously a concern.
Well, and that has to go back to the feasibility study that wasn't done. Independent feasibility study is the
that's a big key.
Is the
Craig and so right now with this project, it's my understanding, or it seems to be, and you know, there's all these other factors that play into it, but it seems to be the next big step will be the permitting process, and that's going to be done by on the government level, and you're talking about open hearings and things like that.
Correct.
Now, are you encouraging people when those timelines come about to make their opinions heard?
We certainly will be, and we serve a number of people in Crystal City who are concerned about this. As I said, many of them do have pulmonary disorders, and this could be just a very devastating thing for them. One of the things we're hearing our folks, and they will be at these hearings, are saying is that if, in fact, they have to move because of the environmental situation and their property values plummet, what are they to do? Because these are people who worked all their lives. It's not their fault they became disabled. I mean, they worked, paid taxes, played by the rules, and now they're about to lose the last thing they have, their home. That's what they're afraid of. And so we've encouraged them to go to these hearings and express that. And I mentioned transportation earlier because that's probably how they're going to get there.
How many people are we talking about here that you serve?
Well, we serve about 1,200 in the county total. In Crystal City, usually about 250 per year. We do a thing called the circuit breaker tax credit. Anybody who's 65 or older or permanently disabled that makes under $27,000 a year can get up to $750 of their rent, mortgage, or property taxes back. So we see a lot of folks in Crystal City. Crystal City's average age, mean age by the census figures, it looks to be 37.8 years old. If you look around the county, that's pretty old. I was kind of wondering if there was Crystal City, Florida, and so a lot of those folks come in, and that's where we're hearing a lot of these comments.
How many people would you say, 250 from Crystal City, what percent of that have shown concern?
A great majority of the ones that we've spoken to, and we don't ask that question, but we were hearing enough buzz in the office that it was brought before the board, and the board decided to act. So
that's how the statement came out.
That's how the statement came out.
It was kind of a bottom-up deal. It wasn't somebody at the top saying, I don't like this.
Right. And, none of my board members reside in Crystal City, but Disability Resource has been there over 10 years. All of my board members are disabled, so they all have hands-on experience with all the disability issues, whether it's transportation or access or environmental issues. So they're pretty hands-on, and one of the blessings I have with my board is they listen to the people, and they don't just listen to the staff. And a lot of times they're telling the staff, the people are saying this, and this is what we're going to do. And that's a good thing.
Now, what we've heard so far, and again, there's been no plan, and nothing's, there's still a lot of engineering to be done, all this other stuff, but all we've been told so far is the only thing that's going to be coming out of this plant is carbon dioxide.
That is not true. I actually had a couple emails back and forth from a lady from the Department of Natural Resources, and she says that an iron ore smelter of any type has carbon monoxide emissions, along with sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxides, all kinds of volatile compounds, and including lead. And then there's a whole list of gases and metals and things like that. And that's not including the particulate pollution, which is especially damaging to people with the COPD, diabetes, cardiovascular problems.